Hello and welcome. We are in conversation today with Adrienne MacAulay, founder and head of product at Parsley Box. Adrienne MacAulay, Parsley Box was founded in 2017. You're disrupting the traditional meal delivery service offerings.
Well, it all started with my mother-in-law. She, in 2017, early 2017, she moved from the family home into a one-bedroom accommodation. And unfortunately, the kitchen facilities in that accommodation was very small. So she had a very small ice tray freezer and a small fridge and a very basic stove and kitchen, and didn't really need any more than that because it was just herself. But when it came to thinking about how we were going to make sure that she was eating properly and that she had whatever she needed in the kitchen, it started to become a problem. We would do things like go to the supermarket and buy quite a lot of food for her. And because it was only herself, we ended up seeing a lot of waste. And then we also saw her consumption behavior deteriorating because she was just serving for herself. And so she was just snacking and things. So we thought, well, maybe we could look at some kind of ready meal idea that first of all could be delivered to her house so she could get back a bit of her independence, and also something that she could have a variety of food and have different meals every night, so she's not always having just the same thing all the time. And then when we went out to the market and tried to find something, all we could find that would be able to provide a service that was be able to be delivered to your door, that you could phone or order from a catalog if you couldn't go online and order yourself, which is the problem for my mother-in-law. The only thing available was a freezer idea. So you had to have a large freezer because it was a frozen food delivery service. And so that's where we just thought, well, we should try and create a brand like Parsley Box that was able to deliver a product that didn't need to be frozen.
And I mean, it's been quite a remarkable growth journey up until now. What have been the key milestones, would you say?
Milestones. Well, I think when we first started talking to finnCap, we knew at that point, a couple of years or so ago, that we really were onto something. The numbers were saying the right things. The customers, we were really listening to them, and we knew that we were providing something that was going to be a long-term solution to a lot of people's needs and desires. And so we started off with about 50,000 customers in the database at the time that we started talking to finnCap. And to date, now, as of today, we've broken the 300,000 mark for customers. So that's been a massive amount of growth for us.
That's amazing. I mean, what would you say is the best business decision that you've ever made?
Well, not only in this business, so obviously this has only been 3 years old, but in every business and everything we've ever done, is we've always listened to the customer. And that has been absolutely key. So, for example, when my husband and I started Parsley Box, we were sitting in a box room in the basement of a part of a rented office space. And it was just the two of us in this basement with headsets on, taking all of the calls, day and night, 7 days a week. And that was the great thing about it, because we were actually able to listen to what the customer is saying, understand their needs and any kind of barriers that they would have. And we were able to cater and create this brand around what they need as a consumer.
In May 2019, so May last year, finnCap advised on a £3 million investment by Mobius into Parsley Box to support your further growth, accelerate product development, and accelerate customer acquisition and recruitment. So just going back over the past year, can you give us an insight into how your growth strategy has been developing? What new products have been introduced and how the customer acquisition strategy is going?
Okay, well, so as far as product development, that's when it's almost a chicken and egg scenario. So you've got manufacturers and suppliers and people that are able to produce product for you. But they won't listen, or they won't be able to do that extra mile or make that new innovation for you or invest in new equipment until you have higher sales. So you've got to be able to get the sales up to be able to control and innovate and bring new ranges in and have a larger stock hold and to get that investment in machines that you need. So that's where we've seen a real growth in product area. So we've doubled our range, we've brought in new formats, we've introduced new categories. And so this year has been a big year for that. As far as anything to do with marketing and customer acquisition, where we've seen the ability to where we've had a massive success in what we've been doing to date at that point we were able to, with that funding, be able to go into different areas. So we were able to start going into direct mail, expand into television, which we're starting on Monday. Also into the sort of social media area that we'd never really been able to have the resource to get into. So it's just had to give us an ability to have a much more broader reach to our consumer.
And bringing it back to the present day, I mean, obviously, in March 2020, the COVID-19 crisis really struck, and businesses obviously had to were finding themselves having to adapt very, very quickly due to the impact of this pandemic. So, can you give us a bit of insight? Obviously, being a direct consumer business, what has been the effect on of this crisis, and how, if at all, has it altered your future growth strategy?
Well, I think one of the things that really came home to us that we didn't really think about at the time, well, we did know that we were essential to a lot of people, but we automatically, when everything happened with the COVID-19, we're classified immediately as essential service. And I think with that comes responsibility. And with that responsibility to service and to maintain that supply to our customers, but also that responsibility to our staff, and to the team as in general. So a lot of things were taken into a point where we had safety policies in place. So at the warehouse, we had to do safe distance packing, one-way systems, re-racking everything, to the contact center, where we were able to train up people immediately to deal with the spike, but then literally be able to train them and then get them home into a safe environment where they can actually continue our service as an essential service to our customers in a safe environment.
Mm. And as you emerge from this crisis, I mean, do you have a strategy for how to maintain your newly acquired customers and sustain this business growth?
Well, I think maintain is all to do with quality and selection and ability to be able to have a choice and keeping it fresh all the time. We've had customers now for 3 solid years that some of them are consuming it every day. Some of them are an occasional consumer. So it's in order to be able to, again, listen to the customer, but also understand the customer and say, what else would they need in their life or want in their life that we can actually provide for them?
Mm. And I mean, as a business leader, more generally, what would you say has been the biggest impact on your team, and how have you managed the challenges?
Well, I think it's all to do again about safety. With our contact center, we've moved into our own floor of our own office with our own safety procedures, and it's about sort of keeping that our team safe, and again making sure that our supply is there for our customers.
And I guess just finally, what are your future ambitions? And I mean that in business terms and personally as well.
Well, our idealism is always that we want to promote independent living and enjoyment in life for our customers. So by doing that, we need to keep on thinking about our service and our product and how we can innovate and change that and improve that in every area. And so that is our vision going forward for forever, really.
Adrienne MacAulay, founder of Parsley Box, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.